I'm Anil Kumar, and in this video we will learn a quick way of finding end behavior of a function. So we have taken up rational function. So we need to write end behavior of the rational function r of x equals to 2x divided by x minus 1. So when we say end behavior, we are trying to figure out what happens to the value of the function when x is approaching negative infinity and what happens when x is approaching positive infinity, right? So that is what we're trying to figure out. Now it is important to understand that if value we have numbers as 1 and 2, then 1000 is a very big number, correct? So what we could do actually is we can use the calculator and substitute 1000. That means we can find the value of r of x. For negative infinity, we can substitute minus 1000, find the value. And for positive infinity, we could substitute plus 1000. You could do 100 also in this case, okay? And see what value do we approach, right? So if I write negative 1000 here, then of course we get a negative value. Denominator is, let us see, also negative. So we get a positive value. Do you see that? So let's calculate. So we have 2 times 1 within bracket negative 1000, okay, divided by within bracket negative 1000 minus 1 bracket close equals 2. So we get a value 2000 over 1001. So slightly less than 2, correct? Let's convert to decimals. So we get a positive value, which is 1.998. Anyway, so it is approaching 2 from lower side, slightly less than 2. Now let's substitute 1000 and then calculate, right? So we get end behavior for negative x value, negative infinity. We can write this as it is approaching 2, right? So y approaches 2. We can say from the negative side, from the lower part, but it is approaching the value 2, right? Okay. Now let me substitute 1000 here. So it becomes 2 times 1000 divided by within bracket 1000 minus 1. That also gives you a value which is close to 2, but this is higher than 2. Do you see that? It is higher than 2. So let's see the decimal value, which is 2.002, recurring this here, right? So which is again a very close to 2, but important part here is it approaches 2 from the top side. So the end behavior is when x is approaching minus infinity, y is approaching 2. When x is approaching positive infinity, y is approaching 2. Both cases y is approaching 2. However, in the first case, it is approaching 2 from below, and in the second case above. So that is the difference, and this difference is critical to understand, especially when we are trying to sketch a graph, right? So when we are trying to sketch a graph in that case. So let me just make a rough sketch here for the horizontal asymptote only. So it is trying to approach 2 kind of like this, right? So what we have got here is horizontal asymptote at y equals to 2. When you are approaching negative infinity, you are approaching 2 from below side, this side, right? And when you are approaching positive infinity, you are approaching kind of like this. But in both the cases, the function is approaching 2. So that is what the end behavior is. So you can actually sketch this function and understand it better. Thank you and all the best.